Buffalo Bills are en route to the playoffs.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout.
Buffalo Bills go undefeated. And we're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Now, baby. Come on, come on.
No one
Come on
circles the
and
wagon
shout.
like the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
All right, we are live. We are live and we are back. Welcome to another episode of the Overdue Bills podcast. And we here today, y'all. We definitely here today. We're excited to be here. A lot has happened within a week, right? A lot has happened within these 7 days that we definitely have to talk about. But before we do that, let me introduce the guys, man. Let me introduce the guys that's with me. You know, our guy Matt, aka he might be spraying the fire down right now, man. What's up with you, man?
Whoa.
Fireman Matt.
Nah, you can't call me that yet. Can't call me that yet. Still a recruit. Still a recruit, man. I ain't crossed over yet, but yeah,
he's still
man,
a pup.
Shout out to all my guys and girls, class 2201. You know, we're grinding, getting it done. But what's up, everybody?
Absolutely. Shout out to, Matt. Shout out to the guys right now. And, you see him, our guy, Rat, a.k.a. always got the good merch. Rat, what's up, man?
Man, what's good, bro? I'm ready to pod. A lot of action happened, man, for the Bills and other places, man. So let's get to it, man. Let's talk.
Absolutely. We definitely ready to pod. But before we do that, we have to let the people know who is sponsoring this show. Matt, let the people know, man.
Yes, sir. This show and every other episode is brought to you by the good people at Buffalo Wing Kings. There's two things the guys here at the Overdue Bills podcast know. That's Bills football and that's wings. Our first choice and the best choice is Buffalo Wing Kings. Wing Kings is Wings 101 with over 101 different flavors and their beloved Wing of the Month special. Wing Kings is sure to school any other wing place around. Stop by and see them for parties. Summertime's coming up. You just all kinds of graduations and just celebrations. Just definitely hit those guys up to go get some wings. Stop down and see them at their Elmwood Village location at 484 Elmwood Avenue, or give them a call at 716-248-1427 and find out why they say and we know they got the best wings in town, hands down. And make sure you mention our name, Overdue Bills. Get 10% off your order.
Absolutely. Shout out to Buffalo Wing Kings. You know the vibes. All right, let's do this real quickly. Let's do some housekeeping things. Shout out to overduebillspod.com, overduebillspod.com. That's the website. That's where you can find everything Overdue Bills. Shout out to the merch that we have there. We got all your merch needs, so please go over there and check us out. Definitely at overduebillspod.com. And with that, I would just ask everybody to like, share, rate, and review, subscribe. Please do all of those amazing things. It definitely goes a long way. And Rad, just quickly, let the people know. I know this is the second week, but let the people know about the collab, man. Let the people know, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Definitely. Shout out to Buffalo fan base, Bills Mafia. Now, we collabed last week. This is the second week of hopefully a lengthy marriage or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, one of many, man. So, shout out to Buffalo Band. Shout out to Justice. Shout out to everybody over there for giving us this shot. We're gonna come through, man. Let's go.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into the show, man. We ready to talk Bills. A lot of things have been going on, and y'all know how we kick it off. Quick question of the day. And I think I want to throw a little bit of spice on there. It's been a lot of things going on, and I'm gonna go first. So I'm gonna give these guys some time because I didn't give them this question. I was like, I'm gonna surprise them. So here's a surprise. All right, I need one player, but this is a no excuse player. And here's what I mean. This is a no excuse player. This player coming up for this season, right, has no excuses, right? We've done enough to surround him with whatever we need to surround him with, and they have no excuses, right? There is no, this happened, that happened. No. Either put up or you know the rest. All right, so I'm going to go first. My player that I'm nominating to the front of the office is none other than Tremaine Edmonds. Right, it's a no excuse season, right? Even though he's on his 5th-year option, and we're gonna talk about it in a second. We've done everything we possibly could do as far as getting him some defensive line help. You know what I mean? A lot of times people talk about, oh, we didn't have necessarily that big person, in there to kind of take on some blockers and to move some people around, and that the offensive line was kind of getting to the second level, quote unquote, right? That was an excuse that you would hear. But this season, I think we've done enough there, and we're going to talk about that in a second, that Tremaine Edmonds has no excuses, right? Like, this is his year. It's either put up or just be quiet, bro. We just going to have to move on. So that's the person I'm dominating for, no excuse. So I'm going to go to Rad. Rad, do you have a no excuse player this year?
No, I don't have a player, but I'm gonna switch it up. I got a coach.
Okay.
I'm gonna go McDermott on this one. I think this year is all about Sean McDermott. Not on some like, if he don't get it done, he going to win the Super Bowl, he getting fired or nothing like that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I think this year is gonna be about to see what type of coach he is, like long term. Do we got one in the generation coach? We got one of the coaches that we're gonna be confident in year in, year out. We're gonna be in Super Bowl. All these, we can go back to the Bill Washes, the big Shanahan, the father Shanahan, Tomlin, or what I mean, people like coaches like that with pedigree, the first ballot Hall of Famer. Do we got a first ballot Hall of Fame coach? I think this year and moving forward is going to show us a lot about. I mean, he's been doing everything great in my eyes, as far as the last 4 or 5 years we get into the playoffs. But I think losing the bowl, upgrading your quarterback's coach, and what's the
Ken Dorsey?
Upgrading Ken Dorsey. Those moves like that, and moving forward, and seeing that the defense can not rebound, but keep it pushing.
Rebound for 13 seconds. Yes, rebound.
I guess rebound, but keep it. No, we was number 1 last year, so still improve, even getting better than it was last year. I think it's a Sean McDermott year for me. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, Sean, what kind of coach are you? If you a good coach or are you a great coach? And this is the year for me to see if Sean McDermott is a great Hall of Fame all-time coach. So for me, it's Sean McDermott.
Okay, Tremaine Edmonds, Sean McDermott. Matt, who is your no excuse player or coach for that matter?
So my no excuse player is one of Sam's favorites. I'm gonna go with Ed Oliver. With the moves that Bean has made, that defensive line should see a lot of one-on-ones next year, all across the board. And Ed Oliver, he's in a contract year. We got him in his option now. So, he's definitely going to have to come up and be one of those type of impact players that we know that I think and know that he could be. But just with the signings of, I know a lot of last year we talked about, he wasn't having a lot of depth and help next to him. Like Harrison Phillips was hurt. Starr was either, out for COVID or just didn't want to play that day. I don't know. But now with the signings of Tim Settle, Daquan Jones, and, we brought back Jordan Phillips. And then we got to talk about the huge signing. I'm sure we'll get into that. And Von Miller, got Greg Rousseau, Boogie Bash, and there's going to be, they're going to have a lot of rotation. Oh, Shaq too. They're going to have a lot of rotation. So he shouldn't have any excuse to put up some numbers this year.
I love it. So just a little recap. Yeah. Tremaine Edmonds is my no excuse player. Put up or shut up. Rad took a twist. He said Sean McDermott. Is he going to be a good coach or a great coach? And our guy Matt with Ed Oliver, trusty Ed Oliver. Shout out to Ed Oliver, y'all. All right. With that being said, and listen, you guys out there in the comments, please let me know your no excuse player. You know what I'm saying? Across all platforms, we definitely trying to watch the comments. We're trying to put it up on the screen. So please, if you have a no excuse player for this upcoming Bills season, let us know. All right, let's go to our next segment, which is our Bills on the move. We did this last week, and really the Bills have been on the move, right? It's been a lot of signings even since then. And this is where we kind of recap, the free agency signings, any trades, anything that the Bills have kind of done. So kind of our week at a glance, if you know what I mean. So really, I'm gonna just go through a few. And Matt already stepped on my toes, but it's all good. Von Miller, he signed. Obviously, you can go get the contract details. We're kind of getting to the team construction and that type of thing. But Von Miller, OJ Howard, Roger Scaffold, which is our guard, Daquan Jones, D tackle, Tim Settle, D tackle, Jordan Phillips came back, Markel Lee, Shaq Lawson, aka Sack Lawson, Matt Barkley, Greg Minks, and Duke Johnson. That's been, they agreed to terms. And also literally who just popped up maybe like 10 minutes ago is wide receiver Jamison Crowder from the New York Jets. Also, we got Case Keenum. We traded for Case Keenum. He's on the roster. And obviously we signed Isaiah McKenzie. We re-signed him, Kumaro, Syrian Neal, Tyrell Dotson, and I think that's it. Am I missing anybody?
No, I think you got them all.
For sure.
I think I covered all the bases. And I just want to go to you guys first, right? And I'm gonna go to Matt first. Matt, let's just get the cat is out the bag. Let's talk about the big signing of Von Miller, and then we'll work our way from there. Matt, how do you feel like when you saw the ticker, when the group chat start binging and we was like, Von Miller has hit, what went through your mind?
Yeah, man. So, obviously I was in class during the day that day, and, obviously the group chat was going crazy. So the first thought in that one was, yes, we got the pass rusher we desperately wanted, what we needed. The second thing was, all right, how much do we give him, and how much is this going to handcuff us? And for if anybody can really explain to me how the salary cap works, then you deserve a Nobel Prize, because it's just like funny money all the time.
That's a fact.
So to see that big price, and then as we started looking into it, to see that it really wasn't, basically 3 years with the 53 guaranteed, and we're giving them an average of 17 million over those 3 years, which is similar. I think Raz said it in the group chat, similar to what Chandler Jones got, what the top guys got. So I was very happy with that contract, and just the name and the presence of Von Miller next year is just going to be incredible, I think.
Matt, Rat, how did you feel when we signed Von Miller?
Yeah, I was excited. You know what I mean? First, you see the number. You see 6 for 120. Without getting the details, without getting all the the contract stuff in it, you're like, whoa, wait, hold on. No, he only got a couple years left in him. You know what I mean? So 6 for 120 gave you cause to pause, but when you get through the weaves and stuff, you see that it's pretty much like a 3 for 53, 3 for 52, whatever it is. And I was happy with that, right? We needed an edge rusher. I thought everybody, all of our fans, most of our fans wanted a Chandler Jones, but I think the second best one out there was a Von Miller, right? Von Miller. And the fact that he wanted to leave LA, right? He left LA to come here. Even though we probably gave him more money, but still Rams was trying to sign him. Other places were trying to sign him, and he chose to come with the Bills. Maybe we gave him more money, but still we say the last few years of your elite self is want to come to Buffalo because we think he can win. He's trying to win another Super Bowl. He already got 2 Super Bowl MVP, first ballot probably Hall of Famer. He wanted to come to Buffalo. You know what I mean? Because I believe he still think we can win. He believe in Josh Allen. He believe in Sean McDermott. He believe in Brandon Beane. So that shows a lot about our team. Somebody of his caliber wanting to come here and play. You know what I'm saying? So man, I was happy about it. I think he, next year he exactly what we needed. You know what I mean? I know we didn't get that much cornerback help yet, but we'll talk about that later, I guess. But having a pass rusher, an elite, a top pass rusher in the NFL, man, that covers a lot of holes. So, I mean, I was excited.
For sure. When I seen the Von Miller signing, it definitely took me by storm, right? It was a shock. It was like, oh, my God, we got Von Miller. Like, a lot of things went through my mind as well. Like, he's old, like, injury concern, so on and so forth. But, like, when I really looked at it and kind of did my homework, one of the biggest things that I found out is that Von Miller has been, even though his pass rushing ability has declined like a little bit, right? I was listening to some PFF numbers, some PFF podcasts, and what they were saying is that he like at his elite years, he was at a 90, pass rush grade, which is elite of elite. And, towards the years after the injury, he's been around an 80. He's got up to a 90 in the playoffs, which is obviously what we want him for. But they said he still can pass rush. But the biggest thing about Von Miller is what I found out is that he's an amazing run stopper. And like he has an amazing run stopping grade. And it was like, man, we would get gashed with the run. You know what I'm saying? And having like somebody who can rotate and run stop, that's amazing. So that was a huge plus for me. And also one of the biggest things that I looked at was the fact that he can teach a Rousseau and a Boogie Basham how to play the game. I think that you can't overstate that, right? Like Brandon Beane, like
elder statesman.
We could have got Chandler Jones. I'm sure it would have been a great thing. He's a great pass rusher, so on and so forth. We could have got a Landry. That would have been a great thing. But Von Miller has the pedigree. He got the ring, and he's somebody who can come into a locker multiple rings, like literally
bowl, everything.
He's somebody that's going to come into the locker room and command like respect on go. Rousseau, if he is the player we think he is, he should be right under his ring or under his wing and learning the you know what I mean, the little you know what I mean, whatever it is,
the nuances,
the little nuances, the little crevices of the game in order to get him to a high level. So I think it was an amazing signing for a number of reasons, and I think Brandon Beane definitely showed himself out, and we're going to talk about that in a second. So with that being said, like that's the big signing, Devon Miller. But I do want to go to Matt and Rad to hear your thoughts about the other signings. We talked about Roger Scaffold last week and Tim Settle. He was kind of last week, but you can, if you want to bring those guys up again, but can you give me another notable signing where you can point to that you say, all right, Beane, you did a really good job here. This is a person that's going to help us moving forward. Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it's very sudden, but Jamison Crowder. We talked about bringing back Isaiah McKenzie, and maybe he will be the guy to take over in the slot for Beasley. But to bring in a guy like Crowder, who was a Pro Bowl player, he had a ton of catches for the Jets in his career. Played very well for Washington too. So we brought in a guy who can come in and start in our offense immediately, especially being familiar in that slot position. So that's a huge signing for us, especially for the price that we would have had to pay Cole Beasley this year anyways.
Absolutely. I think what I like the contract, I think it's incentive based and it can get to $4 million, but I mean, I pray it does get to $4 million because I mean, he did a real good job. So but it's not that much money.
Yep.
For me, I like the OJ Howard signing quietly, right? Because OJ Howard was so big hype coming out of college, right? Alabama guy, one of the better tight ends to enter the draft, you know what I mean? And he started off, in his Tampa Bay career, it started off injuries a little slow, but then he had some good years, good games in the mix of that, and then injuries came again. So if we can get the best version of OJ Howard with a Dawson Knox, you know what I mean? So we can go 2 tight end sets with Josh Allen. I mean, that's beautiful. Who wouldn't want to do that? And I think OJ Howard is the size, the strength. He can win in a red zone, another red zone threat. I think Josh Allen's gonna get a real good use out of OJ Howard. Him and Knox together on the field is gonna be dangerous for opposing defenses. So I think OJ Howard, I think it was a 1-year deal, maybe a 1-year deal, maybe 2-year deal. But I think just getting an OJ Howard type, because his potential, his ceiling is high. His floor, he's just not gonna play. But his ceiling, if OJ Howard get to his potential, he's still in his mid-20s. He's not that old. This is second contract right here. So I think we got him on the low. He come to Buffalo. He played with a good quarterback. He was projected to be a good blocker tight end coming out of college as well. So if he can get all those things right, and if he get them right, get in Buffalo right, I think OJ Howard can be a steal in free agency, man. I think he can be real good in a two tight end set for Dawson Knox.
I like it. I'm gonna be honest too. OJ Howard, just to piggyback, I will say I do sometimes like a distressed asset coming from another team, right? Like he is an asset, but distressed. It didn't necessarily go all the way right. He has some injuries. But I think that it's important because Jamison Crowder is old. Isaiah McKenzie, albeit he has some good games, he is still unproven. And Gabriel Davis, although he did have a major breakout, it remains to be seen if he can take the next leap, right?
I think Beane's definitely the confidence is there.
Yeah, the confidence is obviously there because we haven't really gone out and got. So I mean, we're relying on him, which is fine. Yep. But I think OJ Howard does add another element. Dawson Knox is a great red zone player, but I think OJ Howard you can bounce him out wide. You can do a lot of things with him, and I guess in shows to come, we're going to talk about Ken Dorsey because that's somebody who we really do have to talk about because that is a wild card. We really don't know what's really going to happen. But let me, if I could give somebody, I think I'm gonna give a couple players. It is Daquan Jones, defensive tackle, Tim Settle, defensive tackle, and Jordan Phillips. I think that one of our issues, even though with Starr kind of declining last year, I really don't know what happened, and Harrison Phillips leaving. This was a need, defensive tackle. Right, like our run defense just was kind of out of sorts, and it's been out of sorts for a couple years. Like we're able to get gashed, right? We're able to run, people are able to run on us. Maybe we're a run for no defense with that, but still, we still want to be able to stop the run. And I think that this is a good move forward in doing that. And it goes back to my no excuse player, right? You need big guys, you know what I mean? Right next to Ed Oliver to help Ed. Right, Matt's no excuse guy, and for Tremaine Edmonds to be able to get around and you better make those tackles. Right, we need those big guys to take on blocks, and these are the guys who's going to do it. So I think that my notable signings is our defensive line because they just went all in. Like in my opinion, right? They said we see a need and we're going to fill that need. But I do. Okay.
I got number 2. I got my number. I guess my second one. I know it's it's the unsexy. I guess the easiest job, not easy job, but the backup quarterback position, right? We said we needed to attack that. Case Keenum. I mean, say what you want. I think Case Keenum can win. He can win a game for us. You know what I mean? I'm happy. We signed, I guess, Mike Barkley too, whatever. But Case Keenum can come in and steer a ship. You know what I mean? That's what we need. He can win a football game. He can win. He won playoff football games in Minnesota and Cleveland when he when he came in for Baker Mayfield. He did fine. I think our offensive play calling, our offense, how we run our offense. I think Case Keenum. Now everything is Josh Allen or bust, but I think Case Keenum can come in and run a ship, and so I'm okay and I'm happy with Case Keenum as our backup.
So let me ask y'all this. No, shout out to Case. Case Keenum is top 5 backup. I think it was a great trade. Brandon Beane's real savvy move by a GM to get a secure backup. God forbid, we never want him to ever play. But if he does play, I don't think. I mean, obviously it's a huge drop off, but it's serviceable. He's better than Mitch Trubisky, in my opinion. In my opinion, I did want to ask y'all this, Matt. I want to ask you this. Because we're about to get into another segment, but as a matter of fact, let's just go into the other segment. Let's go to the segment. And this segment is math. Anyone? Math? Anyone? Does anybody want to do math? Probably not.
No.
But but really, what we're talking about is addition by subtraction. And we lost some players, right, in free agency. We did. Like we gained some players, but we also lost some players. Harrison Phillips, we lost. Mitch Trubisky, bye. Joe Feliciano, Levi Wallace, and Matt Breida. So let me just ask y'all this. Let me ask Matt. Matt, is there anybody on this list that we lost that you'll say, man? And really, I don't know if you're gonna go this way, but I do want to talk about Feliciano in a second. So you don't have to necessarily get on him. I want to highlight that because we're gonna get into something else. But is there anybody else where you can say, maybe, or it's like whatever, cool, let bygones be bygones?
Well, I'm still at the question mark point with Levi Wallace, right? Levi Wallace is gone, and I know I talked about it. Corner is the one position that we have to be really good at to beat a team of the Chiefs caliber, or even the loaded AFC caliber, right? Corner position is very crucial. We addressed the pass rusher, defensive line, and I'm very happy with that. But I'm just interested to see what we do with that position because he's seems like Bean's just gearing up for the draft now. I know he said that we're kind of. He said we're slowing down on moves. This is a lot of moves, so I don't know where he's going with that. But definitely interested to see what he does with the cornerback position. Whether or not he's going to bring in another vet, like a 1-year deal to kind of help. I'm almost positive he's going to go with somebody in the draft, and then they can kind of help them come along. But the question mark of Trey is a big thing for me in that aspect too. So Levi Wallace definitely.
Okay, Levi, that's a huge one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not for me, not so much, right? Because Harrison Phillips, I think he was a team guy, a culture guy, and somebody I wanted to see stay on the team. But I think we addressed that position. You know what I mean? In some aspects, people say Mike got better at that position, right? So I'm not necessarily poo-pooing not re-signing Harrison anymore. And Levi Wallace, how much I did want to keep him, he was slow. At the end of the day, he wasn't fast. So I think if as long as we address that position with some speed, I think Bean wants speed in those positions, right? That's what I think he going with. So Levi, because he didn't sign for much, he left to Pittsburgh, I think for 2 for $8. Wasn't that much money. But I think Bean want to replace Levi with somebody with a faster guy, somebody with more speed, somebody who can play that defense a little better. So I'm not mad of nobody, right? I like what I'm not in a position to question Bean right now. I think Bean, what he's done in this free agent is he plugged holes. I know we still got one at cornerback, but I think we still might sign one, and I think the draft is going to get us there. And Trey might be ahead of schedule. We don't know. Trey might. My barber, shout out to Justin. He cut Trey, right? He just cut his hair couple. So I might get something.
Say walking fine.
I don't know. I might come back. I might come back with some info. I mean, some breaking news soon. I don't know. Like, we'll see. But
come on, man. You know what? You never reveal your source. Come on, man. True media.
Oh, my bad. You're right. I'm new to this. I'm getting better. But I mean, we'll see. I don't know nothing. I don't know. This is just all talking. But I mean, Trey might be ahead of schedule. ACLs ain't the same. ACLs ain't the same, so he might be ahead. He might be back. So we don't know. We'll see. But I think Bean want to get speed at position. So I'm not mad at nobody he didn't keep, man. I think Bean know what he's doing. I think the Bills improved this offseason. And I think we're gonna keep pushing forward.
I agree. Even the Matt Breida, we signed Duke Johnson. I think that's a, you know what I mean? It's a fair trade. Duke Johnson is a third down back. I'm not Duke Johnson aficionado, but if you ever play fantasy, he's definitely a back. You got off the waiver wire. It's like, all right, man, I just got to plug. I just got to play him. He got you a couple points.
Week 16, 17.
Yeah, like Duke Johnson actually had a couple weeks. So it's like, clearly he got something in. I don't want him either. But he does have something in the tank. Whatever it is, he can catch the ball. He's not like a terrible player. So, I mean, hey, but I did want to talk about us losing Feliciano, who went to the Giants. I don't know what's going on with Brian Dable, but whatever. Feliciano, he is scooping up all the players.
He got Breida, yeah, he's scooping up.
So Feliciano, he left. Ryan Bates hasn't signed. We talked about him before the show. Yeah. So Matt, granted, we did sign Scaffold, and we just got the interior lineman, Greg Manx, however you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Saffold too.
Roger Scaffold. Yeah, I said Roger Scaffold.
Saffold.
Oh, Roger Scaffold.
Scaffold. Saffold. No C in there.
Shout out to all the scaffolds out there that's being used right now. So, but Roger Saffold, Greg Manx, and but I did want to ask you this, Matt, because when you look at our line depth chart. Right, we had some issues with line last year, right? We were injured last year, and that was a problem. Like I look at the depth chart, and Cody Ford is still on there. God bless him, but Cody Ford was just like a bad player last year. I mean, I just being honest. How do you feel about that? Did Brandon Beane do enough? Was he just too defensive line centric, or do you think he has something left in the tank?
Well, I mean, it's also not over. I mean, we released Darrell Williams too. That was another player that could play both interior and tackle, right? So, but I think he saw enough out of the young guys last year, and Spencer Brown. Deion Dawkins came back, played great, ended up being a Pro Bowler. And then the Roger Saffold signing was huge because you got another guy you can plug in. He's a mauler. And I don't know too much about the guy we signed today, but you go into everything knowing now that Bean has a plan for something. He's going to make something happen. I would like Ryan Bates or Ike Bacher to come back. I don't know what the scenario is with those two, but I think one of the two coming back would be very huge for our offense. Just to have some plug and play depth in that position.
It's funny you said that because I guess we can go to our next segment since he said that, and I want to go to ODB rumor mill, our Overdue Bills rumor mill, because Matt talked about Ike Bacher and Ryan Bates coming back, but even though Brandon Beane said he's slowing down, we've been just signing players. I don't know what's going. I don't know where we're finding the funny money, but there are also still some other players out there that have been rumored to us. I don't know Rob Gronkowski. He's still out there. Who knows? And Jarvis Landry. I mean, granted, we just signed Jamison Crowder. I don't know. But so besides those, like, is there anybody else out there that hasn't been re-signed, hasn't been, signed to another team that you are looking at like, okay, is there any money left for this guy? Right. Is there anybody left? You want to know, is there any money left for this guy?
I mean, the people I want probably not, right? Like a cornerback, a Stephon Gilmore type players of that ilk, but because you want a cornerback, you do want a cornerback, you do want some experience in that area, but I don't see how, I think that type of player gonna get a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal for more money, than like a Levi got. So I don't know. And I don't, if you say you understand the salary cap, all praises to you, because I don't understand it. Like you said, I don't know how it works, so I don't know how much money we got left. You know what I mean? So I do want a cornerback. I do want somebody to help shore up that just don't just go in there with a rookie and Dane Jackson. But I mean, we'll see. So hopefully we got enough money for a cornerback, some type of veteran cornerback. Hopefully got enough money for that.
Matt, is there anybody who you would still like to sign if possible?
So now I'm going the same. I guess I'll switch it up since Rad went to the cornerback position. I still think that we are very short at linebacker, and I think Bobby Wagner's out of the realm right now. I know I talked about him a couple weeks ago before we signed a bunch of different guys. He might be out of the realm. Then again, I don't know what he'd take to come and compete for a Super Bowl. It could be a lot less. I'm not sure. But that would be a great pickup. Just somebody else in that linebacker room, just for depth. I mean, we re-signed Markel Lee. He spent most of his time on the practice squad. Tyrell Dodson, special teamer. Tyler Matakevich, special teamers. So that linebacker room is looking very, very low in playing time depth right now.
I'm with you. That listen, the offensive line, even though we have made some improvements, I still would like to resign Bates, Eichbacher, but the linebacking core, we're relying on Matt Milano and Tremaine Edmonds, who have missed games in the past, and AJ Klein is gone. He was able to step in and make some tackles and do some things. So I think that is something that we do need to address. But I'm with Rad. Like I'm a Gilmore guy, man. Like he's 2 years away from Gilmore Island, right? Like he's not that far removed, and I think his experience. We don't know what's going on with Trey White. Nobody knows. I've heard he could play at the beginning of the season. I've heard, 5 weeks or whatever. I don't know. Week 5, I don't know. But I think Stephon Gilmore will at least give me pause to say we have an elite, defensive back crew right now. Yeah. Add Gilmore, bro. Nobody's passing on us, bro. Like it's just a fact. Like you would have to run the ball.
So how you think Gilmore feel? Like, that whole we didn't pay him. Do you think your whole feelings to that? You know what I mean?
Listen, money talks, bro. Money talks.
But what money we got?
Yeah,
we might find some.
So,
I got a question though.
Edward
Jackson. Yeah, I got a question. Edward Jackson. Do y'all all think Bean is trying to let the vet cost drop, waiting this long to sign a cornerback?
So, I'll respond to that first. I don't know if that's exactly what he's doing, but I would hope so, just because of the amount of vets, like serviceable vets, that haven't signed yet. So if there is such a thing as a vet cost drop, I'm here for it, because just like guys that we just named, and Stephon Gilmore, Casey Hayward, Patrick Peterson, dudes like that could come in and be good veteran players for us.
Trying to go in a good team,
trying to come and chase a ring, yeah. And it's crazy to say that out loud, that we're a team now that people come to chase the ring, which is crazy.
It is crazy.
But
love to hear it.
Shout out to Ed Jackson. That's the fam. But I'll say this. Just like we got Jamison Crowder for a cheap deal, you know what I mean? Brandon Beane was obviously waiting for like some dominoes to drop to see who we can get. And I think he is doing that with the cornerback position. And I don't know what's going on with the market, but the names that Matt just named, like those would be perfect. Like, granted, we're going to talk about the draft, and there are some, some cornerbacks out there who we can maybe there are some plug and play. Like they're saying this is a good cornerback draft, and there's some plug and play players, but there's nothing like a good savvy vet. And Brandon Beane has been really good about that. Like last year, we got it, Emmanuel Sanders. Right. And he had some good games. Like he got a tailed off in the middle of the season, but like he was good for us for the most part, for the money that we paid him. All right. Maybe Jamison Crowder can be that person, but if he can translate that to a defensive back and help Dane Jackson out there, and possibly a Trey White, I don't know what's going on with that situation. That will be very, very, very beneficial for us.
I think his reluctant to answer for me, I think his reluctant to sign a cornerback maybe has something to do with that, but I think just me being optimistic, I guess maybe Trey White is just showing that he gonna be playing. He can play,
right? And then if you look at the draft board, I mean, we get our top dudes got to be
pick of the litter, gotta be.
Yeah, so it's between the draft, between how Dane Jackson played, and maybe Trey White is ahead of schedule. Maybe that's what he's seeing, and maybe that's what the board he's dealing with. So I'm gonna chop it up to that.
And I'll say this: I've been listening to certain, football pundits or whatever. what they've said was it's been a downtick in going after the cornerback, right? The cornerbacks the salaries have been going down. It's been an uptick in like the safeties, and obviously we have two of the best safeties in the game. And what we saw last year was this. I mean, it's not a revelation, but this too high defense, right? It was a whole bunch of talk about too high defense, cover 2-man defense, right? And with that being said, with the two safeties we have, if Trey White is healthy, I mean, Dane Jackson is serviceable. Right. I mean, if we can keep everything in front of us, like, the defense has been doing and not letting anything get behind us.
And we added Von Miller.
Yeah.
And the defensive line should be improved.
Maybe, maybe it's a scheme thing, right? That's something that we haven't talked about yet. We haven't really talked about scheme this year. And it's possible it could be a scheme thing. But I guess, you know what I mean? That remains to be seen. And on that topic, since we've talking about all these free agent signings, the trades, we have to go to I'll put it BBK. I don't want to say BBL. BBK. Shout out to BBK. I only named it that. But,
shout out to BBLs.
Shout out to BBLs too. Burger King. But really, this is Brandon Beane, the restructure king, right? We got like Brandon Beane. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like we went into free agency with almost negative $3 million, and all of a sudden we signed everybody. Like literally, we just funny money. And I just seen the day that Matt Milano restructured. What is it, Micah Hyde? I think he restructured. Like it's Brandon Beane has done a magnificent job with the salary cap. And he's done a great job even in this off season. So I want to ask Matt and Rad, are you happy with Brandon Beane? And if you are happy, just give me something. Why?
Wait, before you go, what did BBK stand for? Did you explain that?
I said Brandon. Well, it's really BBRK. Brandon Beane, restructure king. But I put BBK because I thought about Burger King. It was for whatever reason. I don't know why. Shout out to Burger King if you want to sponsor us too. Shout out to Wing Kings. I know the vibe. But can y'all talk about Brandon Beane? I just really want to talk about Brandon Beane.
Yeah, I mean, he's he's up there, with the top GMs in the league. He just, like, it's very cliche to say, it's trust in the process. In Beane we trust, but you can't after all these moves he's making and his track record so far, it's very tough not to get behind that. So I'm certainly happy, and I'm sure 99.9% of Bills fans are happy with what he's doing so far.
Absolutely. And I'll say this. I think it needs to be said that Brandon Beane is doing a magnificent job, right? He's doing all that he can do. Like, we criticize, like, granted, just imagine we were in like free agent purgatory. Like, you know what I mean? Like every offseason, we'd be like, yo, what are we doing? It would just be bad signings after bad signings, just the whole gamut. Nobody wanted to come here. But with the advent of the team doing good and Brandon Beane actually spending money, right? I hope he spends every dollar of the Pagulas, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Make them spend the money. Since they want us to spend the money on this new stadium, spend every dollar of the Pagulas, right? Like, just make them pay the tax. I don't care.
Shout out to Pagulas.
Shout out to Pagulas. But make them pay the tax. They should pay the tax. But the Von Miller signing, like spending that money, we need that. That's what we've been wanting. Let's go for it, man. So I'm impressed. So shout out to Brandon Beane, right? You got something to say about Beane?
No, I can't. I mean, we got sung his praises. I guess not enough, but he the GOAT. He's right. He's the guy. He's the one who set this in motion. He got this going. He signed players. He bringing people in. He got Von Miller to come to Buffalo. Josh Allen, the Diggs trade. I mean, that alone shifted our whole. You know what I mean? Josh Allen, the Diggs trade. Like, what can he not do? So I'm looking forward towards the draft, because his drafting skills has been superb as well. So Brandon Beane, one of, if not the best GMs in football, period. That's how I feel about him.
And I'll say this: it's two models that a lot of NFL people talk about is the Rams model of rebuilding a team, which is just spend as much money as possible, as humanly possible, and get like stars, you know what I mean? Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, you know what I mean? Trade for Matt Stafford, like type of thing like that. Or the Bills model. They talk about it, like how we took on some dead cap, when we got rid of Marcel Darius, when we got rid of, a lot of those players, we took on a lot of dead cap that year. We were bad. We drafted Josh Allen. We kind of gave him all the tools to get better. And now You know what I mean? We're a legitimate, you know what I mean, Super Bowl contender. So I mean, shout out to Brandon Beane for bringing this team into, you know what I'm saying, existence, right? Since we was in purgatory, man. We were in
And
that
I
way.
mean, and it's like keep it 100. We seen over what's happened over the weekend. Deshaun Watson trade to
That's crazy.
Cleveland, 250,
Yeah,
whatever
it's
he
crazy.
got guaranteed.
Shout out
We
to
got Josh Allen on a steal. Shout out to Josh Allen for the 6 years with 153 guaranteed. Like we like to get him on that deal this
Still.
early, bro. We're gonna be like the next couple years. We're gonna have extra. Like we're gonna be good.
Listen,
Like
if
because Lamar gonna get whoever next gonna get the Burrows, the Herberts of other. We got to steal with the Josh Allen on contract. That's all.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be honest. We went in the bowl this year, and Josh Allen's agent is calling Brandon Beane and telling, "Hey, yo, bruh, yeah, I need a couple more M's on that one. Like, it's crazy out here. The market is wild. Aaron Rodgers getting millions. Deshaun Watson is wilding with millions. Like, I need another contract. Like, that's what's happening.
He got all the Cleveland money, all of it.
Yeah. So shout out to the restructures. You were saying, Matt?
Yeah. No. The Josh Allen contract is crazy, man, because he's gonna come in and he even went on record like, hey, man, I want to be here. You know, I won't stop until I bring us a bowl. So when he does bring us a bowl, then I guess we're gonna have to have that other conversation, like you said. But we definitely got him on the cheap, man, and that's I'm just happy to have him here for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Shout out to everybody in the comments, man. We appreciate it. My boy Nick, 2201. I know I shouted guys out earlier. You know,
yeah, for sure.
Quick shout out for my guys.
For sure.
Quet with the questions in the comments.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the comments. We definitely appreciate y'all. Definitely appreciate everybody being on the show. We was gonna get into a little bit of draft talk, but I kind of want to let it settle. We gave, if you can check out our last week, we gave some picks, you know what I mean, for our draft show, and we're going to have a heavy draft show. Trust me, y'all guys, we're gonna cover the draft for the Bills, all 7 rounds. We're gonna go through a couple mocks to see where we land at, where we fall. So that's definitely coming to the people, but it's kind of a little bit redundant because we really don't know the draft. Like, listen, as Raz said, as Matt said, in Bean we trust. Right, like we know that he's going to make a good pick, but we're going to give our suggestions because he may or may not listen to the show. All right, with that being said, overduebillspod.com, overduebillspod.com. That's where you can find all Overdue Bills content. You can find all Overdue Bills merch. You see the hoodies. We got hats, we got polos, we got some amazing stuff.
Summertime's coming. We got the tees.
Absolutely, definitely got the tees on deck. So you know what I mean. Whatever you need, please go to overduebillspod.com. Get your Bills merch before the season. We want everybody Bills out and with Bills gear. Shout out to our new collab, Buffalo fan base. Shout out to them. We appreciate them. We taking the show to bigger and better heights. Shout out to everybody on, and shout out to Buffalo Wing Kings. And we got some sponsors coming. Listen, we working out here. I can't. I don't have the cat out the bag yet, but it might be something.
You like stickers? Nah.
Yeah. But yeah. So shout out to everybody, and y'all know how we end every show with a little bit of that. Hey.
Hey. All right, peace, y'all.